Hi friends, good afternoon. I'm so glad you're here with me today. I miss you guys so much, and I wanted to share one of my favorite books with you called There Are Rocks in My Socks, said the ox to the fox. Oh boy, lots of pages. There are rocks in my socks, said the ox to the fox. Bumpy old, lumpy old, clumpy old rocks, pinchy and squinchy whenever one walks. I feel very grumpy with rocks in my socks. See here, my dear steer, said the fox to the ox. Why don't you stop grumping and take out the rocks? I must say I've noticed the longer one talks, the less time one has for taking out rocks. But, sir, there's no way, said the ox to the fox, to get rid of these rocks. They are inside my socks. With my shoes underneath and my feet firmly on top, I see no way at all of removing the rocks. Let me think, said the fox to the ox with a wink. There must be a way to get the rocks out of socks. Eureka! I have it! Just do a flip-flop. Put your legs in the air so your feet aren't on top of the rocks, which will then slide right out of your socks. It is a good thing I'm clever, said the fox to the ox. Yes, indeed, you are clever, said the ox to the fox. I'll do a flip-flop so my feet aren't on top, and then the rocks will come tumbling right out of my socks. Flip, zip, flop, plop. Do you think it worked? I don't know. Those rocks are still there. There's a tack in my back, said the ox to the fox. A prickly old, tickly old, stickly old tack. I really don't need this particular tack. If I found it was missing, I wouldn't wish it back. Furthermore, those rocks haven't budged from my socks, said the ox to the fox. Said the ox to the fox, there's no need to sigh. I'll have it all solved in the blink of an eye. Quick, flick your tail underneath your back, and you'll knock aside quickly that prickly old tack. You're lucky I'm here, said the fox to the ox. Yes, you are a great help, said the ox to the fox. With a swish of my tail, I'll give that old tack a good whack. That will knock it out from under my back. Swish, swish, whump, flump. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Looks like he's still got problems. There's a rail on my tail, said the ox to the fox, a naughty old, cloddy old, roddy old rail. And I'm sure if this rail were placed on a scale, the whole thing would weigh just as much as a whale. I venture to state that in time one would hate the very great weight of a rail on one's tail, not to mention the tack that is still in my back and all of those rocks that are still in my socks, said the ox to the fox. There, don't despair, said the fox to the ox, for it's true, don't you see? I'm sure you'll agree. You've no more to fear as long as you've me. Your troubles are over, I swear it is true, for what else could possibly happen to you? Bzzz, zzz, bzz, flit, sit. Uh-oh, said the ox to the fox. Thank you, my friend, for your faith that my troubles will soon come to an end. Perhaps you are right to make light of my plight, but it seems that the end is not quite in sight. For here I remain with rocks in my socks and a tack in my back and a rail on my tail. And if that's not enough, I believe a very large bee has decided to stop and rest on my knee. That makes me uneasy, in fact, somewhat queasy, for a large bee is a thing with a very large sting. Said the fox to the ox, yes, it does seem to me you'd be much better off without that large bee. However, because I'm so clever, I instantly see a way to remove that large bee from your knee. Just be quick, kick your toes in the air toward your nose, and that will shake the bee off your knee and shake it free of that unwelcome bee. Of course, said the ox, how stupid of me. It's remarkable easy to shake off a bee. Kick, flick, zap, whap. Uh-oh, said the ox to the fox. You've observed, I suppose, that I seem to have kicked myself hard in the nose. Meanwhile, the large bee, not choosing to flee, has been startled enough to sting my knee, which, I confess, quite unpleasant for me. What's more, with these rocks still stuck in my socks, and the tack in my back, and the rail on my tail, I do believe it's fair to state my situation is less than great. Skippity, hippity, hop, stop. My word, said the bee. My eyes must be blurred. I've never seen anything quite so absurd. A big grown-up ox with his back on a tack and a rail on his tail and a bee on his knee gives his own nose a whack. Please don't go, Mr. Fox. As for you, Mr. Ox, would you care to relate how you got in this state? It's rather a long story, said the ox to the bird. It is hard to explain everything that's occurred. I believe it began when my friend here, the fox, who's an expert at getting rocks out of one's socks. Said the bird to the ox, I really must say, you're going about it in a very strange way. Why not simply roll over, lift your back off the tack, then just slide your tail out from under the rail and straighten your knee, which so obviously will set the bee free. Mumble, tumble, roll, bless my soul. I can turn the page. Now take off your shoes, then take off your socks. Try wiggling your toes, then dump out the rocks. Next, put back each sock and put back each shoe, which is all, Mr. Ox, that you needed to do. It is true. Is it true what I've heard? Said the ox to the bird. All I needed to do to get rid of these rocks was take off my shoes and empty my socks? Of course, said the bird. Jiggle, wiggle, bump, 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 thump, wump, lump. Uh-oh, he's dumping all the rocks on the fox's head. I believe, said the ox, it might well be said that my friend, the fox, has rocks on his head. I hope you enjoyed our rhyming story today, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. It's been a great story time with Mrs. Clark, and I'm so glad you were here to share this story with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.